How did I lose weight in 2 weeks? Now, this is a question I got in one of the groups I participate in. I try to be involved in a lot of groups, give feedback, and help out wherever I can. And some of the questions I'm going to go over in the next few videos are going to pertain to some of the things that questions I've had in those groups. And one was somebody asked, how can I lose weight in 2 weeks? Now, I'll give you some input on how to do that. However, a goal of 2 weeks is kind of unrealistic, and not only that, what you lose in 2 weeks probably is going to be mostly water weight. So you're not really going to get to the point where you're losing fat in 2 weeks. Usually it takes 2 weeks to get to the point where you actually start burning fat, and once you do that, you'll switch to from water weight to actually burning fat from your body, as opposed to what you were utilizing before. So that's usually about the time frame where you actually switch to the point where you're actually burning fat. So losing weight in 2 weeks is possible, but if all you're doing is looking at a scale, it might not be the body composition that you're looking for. So wanting to lose weight in 2 weeks is great, but if you have a goal or an event that you're planning for, you want to plan well in advance of 2 weeks before you start toward that goal. A lot of the bodybuilding stuff, if you look at it, they actually start about 20 weeks if they're preparing for a show, which is nearly, that's probably 5 months or so. And that's a good time frame for them if they have a major competition. The least that I would suggest would probably be 3 months. 12 weeks would be a time frame where you can lose a significant amount of weight and get in pretty good shape, but it's also going to depend on how much weight that you have. So normally 3 months will do it. I would not suggest more than 2 pounds a month, or 2 pounds a week, I'm sorry, and normally that's going to put you at about 8 to 10 pounds a month. So if you have more than 30 pounds that you need to lose, then you should probably look at more than 3 months, even though you can do it quicker. But I'm just saying 2 weeks is not ideal. However, if that's our goal, the first thing that you want to look at is diet. You want to restrict your calories in order to lose weight, and you want to resistance train. Now, the reason we resistance train is to try to add muscle in order to help with our calorie burn. So if we add muscle, we're going to burn more calories on average. It's going to allow us to be more metabolically active. However, in a 2 week time frame, we're not going to put on enough muscle in 2 weeks to make a difference here. So resistance training might not be that important as far as adding the muscle, which is usually why we resistance train. However, we do want to make sure that we're active and trying to add muscle. If we put on, even if you put on a pound of muscle in those 2 weeks, which might be hopeful, but if you do, at least it's something and some benefit you're getting. I just think that everyone should incorporate resistance training. So even if it was a 2 week time frame, I would resistance train. However, if it came between resistance training and cardio for that 2 weeks and you could only do one thing, I would probably go with the cardio over the resistance training. But if you can do both, then I would make sure you have resistance training, and then I would add in the cardio. With those two, if you only have 2 weeks, I would probably do a 7-day plan for that 2 weeks, so that you're working out probably 7 on, 1 off, 6 on, so you get 1 day off in that time frame. But I would try to get activity in every day. That being said, you're not going to be able to go as intense because of the everyday programming. However, in order to burn fat, you can do that at a less intense activity level. So maybe if you can't do resistance training, your cardio might be made up of some days that are high intensity, some days that are low intensity, so that you recover, but you want to be active every day in order to try to hit that 2 week weight loss goal. Once again, 2 weeks is not ideal. There are things you can do, there are ways that you can do that, but what are you actually losing? What benefit is there going to be? And are you going to put that on at the end? As always, if you're doing something like this, you want to check with a doctor beforehand. A 2 week period is not very long, so of course if you are going real hard and heavy, intense training, cutting your diet, and it's something that is very new to you. Just with all of our exercise programs, you want to consult a doctor, make sure you're in good enough shape to do that. The quickest program that I actually have is a 21-day program, and I think that's a good time frame to try to lose some weight. A lot of people can see results in 21 days. You might, depending on your weight, be able to drop up to 10 pounds in 21 days, depending on the program, depending on your weight level. But I don't like to go shorter than that and expect results. So I think 2 weeks is a little unrealistic, but like I said, this is a question I had, wanted to address it, and give everyone a little bit of information of how 2 weeks might look and whether or not that's something that you should be realistically aspiring to do. So hopefully you found a little bit out about how you can lose weight in 2 weeks and whether or not that's realistic or not. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll address them however I can.